Coming to you live from my apartment, it's Rob Has a Podcast. And now, here's the man who is the human embodiment of Britney's rap. I am Rob Cesternino. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Rob Has a Podcast Eviction Night. Frenchie. Moment of silence for Frenchie. That'll do it. Frenchie eliminated from the game tonight. 11-1. We'll talk about it all here tonight as we have a new HOH as well, Xavier, on a night that I feel like we reboot the season of Big Brother 23 and see what life after Frenchie, AF, in the Big Brother house will look like. Of course, back with us tonight, a man who has a brand new desk. Here is Taran Armstrong. Taran, how are you?
You know, Rob, I last time we spoke, I told you I was done, but if daggone Dan Gieslin can come back from the dead,
yes,
and I can too.
You can too. How hard could it be? Dan did it. I mean, come on. Yeah, I mean,
easy.
So, only anybody can do it. Any Frenchie can do it.
Easy as taking a rooster into a barn and, letting it fly.
Yeah. All right. Taran, good to have you back. You and I will speak with Frenchie tomorrow. Are you nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of too.
I'm worried about what he might do for me. I feel like he's going to just he's really going to make my dreams come true and inspire me, and it's very intimidating.
Could go either way. Yeah. Could he give you words of inspiration? Could he offer you something? You never know. We'll see when we talk with Frenchie in the exit press tomorrow. And look, this is going to be a huge night on the podcast because Jerped is back together. That means Jenny Autumn is here. Jenny, how are you?
I'm great, Rob. You know, I was feeling so inspired during this episode, and you wouldn't think it was coming from Britney, but it was. So if I could just take a moment, I'm sorry. I have to. All right. Has anyone got a beat for me? No? Okay. It's eviction night and Frenchie's gone. It turns out Britney was really a pawn. So gather around and grab a snack. It's recap time and Jerp is back. Word.
Oh, wow. That was the best rap of the entire podcast season. Wow.
Certainly the best rap I've ever done on a podcast. Yeah.
Wow.
What we all need is more white women rapping.
Yes. Jenny Autumn. So nice to have you here for the return of Jerp. Yes. It's fantastic. Yes.
No, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad I, got to get on a podcast sometime in the Frenchie era. Now we're heading into the post-Frenchie era of Big Brother 23. But I'm thrilled.
Yes. And so happy that you're here tonight on a night to bring Canadian representation on a night where we got to see actual Canada on Big Brother US.
What a surprise.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. And of course, Jenny's co-host for coverage of Sexy Beasts over on Reality TV Wrap-Ups is also here. Puya Zambakili. Puya, how are you?
I was fine. Then
I think
Jenny
you just quit
rapped,
the podcast.
and now I'm reminding myself what Julie told me to do. I'm remembering to be good. So here's
no,
to be good.
That is not what she said. Be the good.
The good. Yes.
E.T. said be good. JCM said be the good. So
be the good and good night.
Be the good.
Be the good night.
Yes. All right. So I think we're going to be the good recap tonight of this episode. And so excited to have you here with us to talk about it. We'll take your questions also here tonight. You can submit them at robhasawebsite.com/BB questions as you can every night that we're here with our Big Brother panel, of course, tomorrow. In addition to live feed update in the morning, we'll have an exit interview, and then Taran and I will be live for the patrons of Rob's podcast as the BB Q&A is back for week number 3, and maybe we'll have a little bit more of a sense of what Xavier is going to do. We'll take your questions sometime when the feeds go down for the wild card competition on Friday. All right. Frenchie's last stand. Kind of went out with a whimper, no?
Yeah. And I think that unfortunately we really spent a lot of time on the whimpering. And it was not, this week was not as great as it could have been.
Yeah, I know that I was certainly in the camp of at the start of the week about how, well, boy, I mean, Frenchie's bringing a lot to the table in terms of the show. Maybe this was not going to be great, but yeah, I think he dumped out everything he had. I think Frenchie was on empty, and I think that really it was like holding back the show and the game a little bit this week.
He really just spent all of his energy, understandably, in that first week. And, I mean, it was fun while it lasted. It was a fun little roller coaster. But if this was the kind of energy we were going to get when he faces any adversity, I'm totally fine with this being the end. Like, I know that a lot of people were like, oh, like, I'd like to see like what happens next. And it's like, I really think he gave us all he had in that first week.
Yeah.
He made the alliances, he burned the people, and then that was it. I just don't see how you go back up from there and get that anywhere close to that kind of energy from Frenchie ever again. So I really think that it was just like, let's speed it up, let's get it over with, it's done. And I really do feel like, it's a whole new game now.
Well, really, the entire second segment of the show did not mention Frenchie at all. It was entirely preparing us for like, all right, we're not even worried about Frenchie anymore. This is all about what happens after Frenchie tonight. So a little bit of an interesting sneak preview about what's to come, Puya.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the end of the day, he bet the farm in week one, lost, and then had to run around with a barrel around his waist for the rest of the week.
Like it was a Tuesday in Canada, right?
Pretty much, yeah. No, I echo what everyone here is. I think it gave the season the first week. We will always have that mess. For those of you who were worried that, oh, well, the mess is gone, the show's going to stop. I genuinely think we're going to hit Act 2 now, and you're going to see more of the people that were silenced during these episodes because the focus was on Frenchie for as much as it was. We got everything that we could have gotten from him.
I think you guys are really doing Frenchie a disservice. I know we're sort of beating around the bush here, but let's be real for Frenchie.
Yeah.
We know that the real reason that he ran out of steam is that he had just done so much for the women and the people of color on the cast, really paving the way and allowing them to succeed. Truly, it is his doing that we're seeing them succeed. So, if not for all of that hard work, I'm sure he would have had the energy to pull a Dan Giesing and save himself this week. But, there were more important things to consider.
Taryn, you make a great point that it wasn't just the women and the people of color that Frenchie was there to help out, because we found out tonight that there was something else that Frenchie was there to do. Frenchie did indeed change the game and set out to do what he wanted to do.
I came in with a purpose. Season that my wife told me that if you wanted to make a change in the game, you needed to get off the couch and get in the house and go do it. And for me personally, I saw the type of people like the old guy and things like that always getting evicted first, and I wanted to change that. So I made it a point to come in, give the first week everything I had, and make that change. And I'm proud of myself because no matter how hard I played, I created that change, and I hope future seasons follow the same thing.
French,
it's beautiful.
Slow clap for Frenchie because he did it.
What a pioneer.
He did it. He did it. The old guy did not get voted out the first week. He changed the game, okay? Wow. He showed the old guy can get voted out the second week.
Mm.
And truly inspiring words, be the change that you want to see in the game. I mean...
Yeah. Be the good.
Really insightful.
Be the good,
be the change, create the change, create the good, all of these things. I'm still not okay with the concept of Frenchie being the old guy in the house because he's literally the same age as me. I know I've already mentioned this on podcasts, but I'm not okay with this.
I mean, when
Frenchie's fighing for you, Jenny.
Yeah, honestly, it was truly inspirational. I too can go out second in Big Brother.
Honestly, to me, it almost felt like he wanted to be known as the old guy, because I've been curious. Frenchie is pulling a Puya. Why is he always wearing a hat? What's the deal? Is he balding a little bit? Because that's why I'm wearing a hat all the time. No, he has a full head of hair. He looks so young when he takes the hat off. I'm like, I think he wants to be known as the older guy. I think that's my personal theory here.
Well, I really do think that Frenchie did do a great job of, coming into the house and changing the narrative of what the oldest house guest can do. Actually, wait, checks notes. Tiffany is 40. Yeah. Not the person who is changing the narrative of what the oldest house guest can do at all.
But again, Rob, what you don't understand is that he has really, allowed her to do that. Like he has empowered her to do that. If not for Frenchie, where would Tiffany even be?
Yeah. So true. So true. Thank you, Frenchie, for all that. Frenchie was also asked by Julie Chen Moonves. We knew this was coming. We knew he was going to get asked, but Frenchie, shouldn't you have taken the deal in week 1? Shouldn't you have taken the offer no one could refuse? And his answer, no.
I can tell you wholeheartedly that I don't. I wanted to see my kids. And as a dad, that's the most important thing to me in life. Mm-hmm. And I knew that if I rolled that dice, I was taking an opportunity not to be able to see their pictures. And it just wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah. It is day 1. You need to see what your kids look like on day 1.
Rob, I'm sick of it. No more photos. I don't care. I don't want any more photos or letters for HOH. I'm sick of hearing that as an excuse for why people are winning HOH. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I can't throw this one because I have to see a photo of my family. Oh, it's such a shame. Like, I'm done with that. I see all the photos you want. You can give photos out to people who win luxury competitions or just give it out randomly. I don't care. Stop attaching it to HOH so that people have to actually explain their actual, or at least come up with something a little more creative to explain why they're either gunning for or not gunning for their HOH. I'm just done with hearing about it. And I'm sick of, I don't want Frenchie to be able to be like, I made the right decision for my children. I want him to say, no,
Dad, we wanted to go to college. Okay. Glad you could see our picture.
I would prefer him to be like, I had to do it for my team. I couldn't let them down.
He was going to give us something no matter what, though. There was absolutely no way that he was going to be like, that second week of safety would have been nice. I should have done that. There's no way that Frenchie is owning up to making a decision that ended up blowing up in his face. He just won't.
I mean, let me just put this out there. Vin Diesel just stopped this podcast. You said no family. He said, I don't mess with you anymore, Taryn. So you did this. Vin Diesel was watching up until this point.
Like I said, give them, you know what? Give them pictures of their family that they get to keep all the time. I don't care. Just stop attaching it to HOH.
Yeah.
What about a caricature drawing of the family? So it's not quite realistic. They get a caricature of their family.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to do one better. What about a personalized wrap for each family member?
For each family member? Or
only if it's Brittany. Yeah. Only if Brittany writes it.
Okay. Of course, the rap master Brittany.
Taryn,
Julie's favorite rapper, at least.
Yes. Taryn, what do you think of the idea that everybody gets a photo of their family except the HOH?
Absolutely. I'm down for that. I'm sorry I have to compete in this HOH because I don't want to see my team.
Yeah.
Because I want all of you. No, because then the martyrdom comes in. It's I want all of you guys. You guys deserve to see your family so much more.
Right. How about this? Everybody gets a picture of their family every week. Everybody, hey, it's Tuesday, get naked, here's the photo of your family.
But then, what are people going to be excited about seeing when they go see someone's HOH room? The
bathtub.
Oh my God, you got
Twizzlers? Alcohol.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. What was Julie getting at with Xavier when she was browbeating him about, but what are you excited about in your HOH room?
Guess what he was excited about, Rob?
The bathtub.
Pictures of his family.
Yeah, she was like, no, we're not that. Something else. Something else. She was leading.
It's a boring answer.
Yeah, objection, Your Honor. Leading the witness. He's a lawyer. Leave him alone. What was she trying to get him to say?
Just fill time. It felt like fill time because I looked at them. We had 2 minutes.
But what are you really looking forward to?
Nothing else.
Yeah. What are you really looking forward to?
I would have respected him if he was pooping in private.
I have a feeling.
Why not? Just be honest. Come on.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the spritz of water. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Some other highlights from the episode. On a serious note, I was not ready for the conversation about Sarah Beth's dad and how he died from COVID. That I was not expecting that. That was like a very sentimental scene in a very silly show. I was not prepared for that conversation, and great job by Kyland being sort of like, of course, Kyland is great at that, but to really help her out in the moment a year after the anniversary of her father's death. I mean, I'm not prepared for that in my big brother.
I love their relationship, and I loved this moment because it wasn't awkward in that, like, sometimes people don't know what to say when those kinds of conversations come up where they, like, I think that sometimes it's very easy to just be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And then like change the subject because it makes you uncomfortable. And I just think that Kyland, again, because I think that these two have such a great relationship. Kyland kind of, tries to ask her questions without being too like prodding, because you can tell she's kind of like, I don't know if I'm ready to talk about this, but like tried to like twist it into like a positive, like, like he'd be proud of you. Like what was your favorite thing about him, instead of like, just trying to like let her have the moment of talking about it without making it awkward or like too serious, like to kind of have her still feel positively about where she is and like how her father would feel about her. I just thought it was like a really, really nice moment between the two of them. And it just showed how close they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like seeing moments like this on the show. It serves as a good reminder that it's not just all, wacky liquids and sound effects. Like, these are actual people that literally all went through the same pandemic last year that the rest of us did. So, and it's good to, talk about these things. I love the dynamic between the two of them. The most awkward part, though, to take it to a lighter set for a second, was that this scene comes in with Julie literally segueing by saying, the deck has been reshuffling in the house. Let's take a look. And then it's Sarah Beth talking about this. And I thought, how did we get here, Julie? What was the segue? Mm-hmm. So that was a choice.
The voices in her ear gave her the wrong intro,
wrong prompt.
I think.
Yeah. Honestly, because it didn't, that was like you said, the most awkward part about it is that it didn't seem to line up with what the rest of, the scenes were about leading up to it.
Yeah. But I just thought Kyland was really incredible in talking about that when she talked about how her dad thought that she could do anything and that she just didn't see it that way. And when he's asking about like, did you have trouble like accepting his belief? Like that, I thought that was such an interesting response to what she said. And just like really like I don't get like choked up during a Big Brother episode. I can't think of a time that's happened before, but I was like, oh my God, this is, I was not expecting this tonight.
Yeah, it's Kyland is a really thoughtful, person. And honestly, like this is genuinely the kind of dialogue that we're getting in this house. The cast is this good. And the relationship that they've developed is really, already, they've gotten to this point where they're this close. And, I think that, Kyland is, there's a reason why people are drawn to him in the house. And this is definitely one of them.
Yeah. Okay. Kyland is going to meet with the Aces and the Kings and sort of wants to have a meeting with the groups to sort of like say like, hey, I just want to like get some assurances that next week you have my back. Pooya, I can never recall sort of an HOH, an outgoing HOH, doing any sort of like exit interviews with groups.
Kyland's built different, man. I'll tell you that. The way Kyland's been managing this HOH has been phenomenal to see. I know when me and Taryn spoke on Friday last week, it was a little bit of like, we're confused how this is going to go down. But then after seeing everything play out that day, it was very effective. Doing this, in my opinion, especially when you've got a clean hit the way he did this week where it's Frenchie and everyone's on the same page. I like that he's, doing the exit interview. How did I do? What could we have done better? What's good for the future? I love that because now he's putting himself in a position where it's not like he doesn't care about everything because, okay, everything went my way. No, he's still invested in talking to people. And that's why I love everything about him, everything that he does. And I think it's just in his nature. I don't think he's like, it's a little bit for game, but I think this is just who he is. This is the way he talks in the real world too, where it's calculated, it's scheduled out, but then it's also like he cares when he's talking. I love it so much.
Yeah.
We shouldn't forget, though, I did hear that he claimed to be a movie buff and only saw the Best Picture winners of the last 20 years. So.
Well, Melissa's not here to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know why you're bringing up Melissa. I'm not naming any
They're
names.
best friends. Did you hear they're going to be BFFs after
Yeah, they're
this?
friends.
Yeah. So that Kylan is looking for some reassurance, a promise from the Aces that he's not going to go up on the block next week. Nobody really gives him what he's looking for. Everybody leaves. Derek X calls it out, says that was very shady. Like nobody here wanted to give you that promise.
Derek X is amazing. I love this. I love that we're watching. There's so many people in this game that are already like set up to be good at this game. But I love when you get someone like Derek X that is kind of growing as a player as we watch. And this was like a perfect example of like him being good and being like,
Be the good.
He took that to heart. Be the good. And, like stayed back. And I think that he senses that, the better path for him in this game are people outside of his team and takes the opportunity to point it out to Kylan and be like, so that was kind of weird that they didn't step up and offer you anything. And it gives them an opportunity to like reestablish their bond. I just love this from Derek X.
And then we got Kylan meeting up with the Queens and talking about how that looks like that Brent and Whitney are going to be, the two people going up on the block, or really setting up the stage for potentially what's to come in the next week. We got the other side of things where Brent talks to Christian and Whitney and says, he talks about how two gentlemen have gone home so far, Taryn.
Two gentlemen have gone home and no females.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, he outlines the group of 5 women that they need to protect the slaughterhouse. And it was Christian who was the voice of reason to say, what are you talking about?
Yeah, it seems like they're finally starting to be like, yeah, maybe not everyone loves Brent in the house. And they kind of showed that conversation with the Aces in Kylan as like, oh, they maybe did something wrong here. And like, oh, why is he still talking about the slaughterhouse? Something that I'm sure we'll talk about a bit more is that the episodes this week have been very lackluster in terms of actually showing what's been going on. And there has been a lot of stuff behind the scenes in regards to Brent and why he is so far out of the loop in the house.
Yeah. Okay, well, I mean, if he does end up on the block, I think that the Sunday night episode will probably go do a lot of catch up and go on to bury him of why he might be going up on the block in the Sunday episode.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some of it, at least, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. We still had an eviction tonight. It was Frenchie and it was Brittany. And we haven't talked too much about Brittany. We saw her, I guess her storyline tonight was a little bit of Puyo like 8 Mile. We saw her coming up with some raps on the fly. Here's the first rap that we got to see her work on with Whitney.
Whit and Britt are on the bike. Come and join us every night. We will keep you entertained and keep your workout team sustained. Come and join us. Come and join us.
Yeah, I think that might be the new theme song for the podcast. I mean, this is
Come and join us. Come and join us.
The problem with that is that if we use that at the start of the podcast, people would just they'd stop it and they'd go back and they'd just keep listening. They'd never get to the podcast.
We'd have
they'd
to
try
loop
to find it on Spotify. They'd be like, "Where can I get that hot track?
Mm-hmm. Come and join us.
Come join us."
Yeah. So here's the thing. I want to preface what I'm about to say.
Yes.
It's not just Britney, right? I've always, anytime any house guest was like, I'm going to step to the plate and I'm going to drop some rhymes, I'm out. Like, you don't do this. Put the mic down. You're there to play this game. You're like, rhyming a couple words together doesn't a rap make, okay? And then it's always the beatboxing. It's always the same beat. And my favorite part of the rapping tonight, if I'm going to be honest, was not the mom sluppetti. It was Xavier's DR shading Britney.
Yes.
That was the best thing that happened, that came out of that tonight. So I was very much into that. But yeah, every time a rap happens though, like, I can't, bro. That's the one.
Really a Wendell moment.
It's honestly astonishing to me how often this happens though. Like, Big Brother is riddled with people who, I don't know if they think that they can rap. They often do it in this sort of like semi-ironic way. Like, I know that I'm not good at this, but I'm going to keep doing it because deep down, I think a little bit that I'm good at this. And right from basically day one in season 2, when Mike Boogie was doing raps, like, this has been throughout the history of Big Brother. It's even been on Survivor, as Jenny just alluded to, which really, like, I guess concerns me about how often this must happen in real life if we're getting this much representation on reality TV.
That people are just making up raps? I mean, I guess that's probably a lot of TikTok.
People who shouldn't be are just doing way too many raps.
Yeah. Julie really encouraged this, that Julie was so there for it. She really was like, all right, well, let's go. We got to Britney's rap here. This is from Britney's speech here tonight, and let's listen to it. And I'd like to maybe talk through it if we could. We'll stop down.
I need line by line, I think, honestly.
Yeah, okay. Because I have some thoughts.
CVS, thank you for this incredible opportunity. Mom, Dad, Nana, Anna, Phil, my unity. I love you all so much. I'm sorry if I scared you, but if I'm being honest, I was scared too. So
who'd she scare? The other people in the house?
That's why she got put up.
Well, so yeah, I think what these lines are alluding to are, the deep-seated fear that players sometimes have when they play Big Brother. She's kind of like, I think that's something that a lot of people can imagine that they could relate to. So she's throwing some lines in there about that, and then she's talking about the symbolic nature of how much you love your family and how much that means to you when you are scared, especially in a place like the Big Brother house, and also expressing her gratitude about, just the fact that she's alive and not just existing in the Big Brother house. And so there's some really deep, meaningful lines here.
Karen's going to be writing the Rap Genius entry for this.
And I think what was really next level about it was she got the shout outs in the rap. She didn't shout out then rap. So she really made great use of her time. Okay, this is the part that I'm a little confused about.
Too, saw my face on the wall, and I was like, wow, beautiful face, but hell no, get me out.
What? Okay, so she saw her face on the wall, beautiful face, but hell no, get me out. Of the house?
Just get me out of the house or get me out of
this
the wall?
predicament?
Out of the wall, which represents her place on the block this week.
Yeah.
Which alludes, of course, back to the fear that she was talking about in the first portion.
And stop down. Beautiful face. We like that. Swagger.
What it's actually meant to be is, hell no, you're not getting me out, but then you make it work because it has to rhyme. Hell no, get me out. And then they leave it up to you to analyze it, which to me, it's like, don't make me do your work. You tell me the message. I'm not trying to decrypt your rap. Come on now.
It's like what's in the case in Pulp Fiction,
Yeah, it's like really, it's like if I went to Subway and they're like, yeah, come around, come to the back. Okay, you make the sandwich yourself. No, you say you're doing this for me. That's the exchange.
Oh, I didn't like it. You were gonna say like when you get the tuna and you're trying to guess what's actually in it.
Ooh, we don't get the 2.
Hell no, get me out. Yeah.
Oh no, get me out.
Yeah.
Get me out. This week's been crazy, full of laughs and tears. I've cried enough this week to last me 5 years. House guests, friends, I love you all dearly, and I hope that you all can see one thing clearly. I love this game, and I came to play, so when you go in that booth, you better vote for me to stay.
Yeah. You don't vote for anybody to
really
stay.
clever.
Yeah. That's the thing.
That's not the theme.
That's the thing.
It's almost better that she didn't ask for that because she could have accidentally gotten people to vote her out.
Yes.
Well, I just think that to subtly weave in your message about why people should vote a certain way, it just very, very clever to throw that in there. I think most people, they would have just thought, yeah, this is just a rap. I'm talking about life in the Big Brother house, but she actually managed to tie that into her actual campaign. Yeah,
so smart,
masterful.
Yes,
revolutionary.
Jenny, and then Julie gave her such an incredible compliment.
Wow. That is the best rap I've seen you do in the house all summer.
Which was like the best rap I've seen you do in the house all summer. It
was like
12
one of those
days
things where I was like, is Julie about to say this is the best rap she's ever heard? Okay, no. Is this about to say this is the best rap that she's heard in the Big Brother house? No. Okay, is she about to say that this is the best rap that Brittany has ever done? No. It's the best rap Brittany has ever done in the house this summer.
Mm-hmm.
It's like just getting worse, but she's still a big fan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I really thought that she wanted Frenchie to rap battle her. Like, did you guys not get this? Because she was like, all right, Frenchie, you're up.
I hate to put you on the spot to follow that up, Frenchie, but okay, you're up.
I mean, I will take a million Brittany raps over a boring Mom, Dad, I love you. Grayson, Jason, Chasen, and Glayson, like, you're the best. And, like, I don't know, like, just people just naming people at home and then being like, I'm having a great time. Please vote to keep me. Like, she at least did something. She's figured out that this is her thing in the house.
This is her thing.
And that people are responding to it, whether it's positively or lukewarm, and she did something.
Make no mistake, 80% of her diary rooms from here on out will be raps that they will say to her, like, well, could you rap the instructions to the Power of Veto competition now? This is her thing now.
Yeah, don't underestimate the power of, like, this is her only interaction with the outside world, and this is the first time that she's been, like, addressed by Julie, and it's about the rapping, and Julie complimented her. This is my thing.
This is my thing.
People love this.
Yeah. And to all the haters out there that didn't like it,
sorry. Wow.
Yeah.
She's a big wow guy. Wow. I saw my face. Wow. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Frenchie gave his speech. Kind of a sad sack speech from Frenchie.
Yeah. You can't talk a big game, big yourself up, and then kind of ho-hum it at the end. Like, it's too late. The toothpaste was out of the tube. I wanted, be memorable. If you're going out, be memorable. That's why, Brittany literally was in the best person to sit next to the block was with Brittany. She was safe as could be, and she came up with the rap. She one upped you, and you're leaving. Like, you should be one upping, everyone else.
Yeah. And then if anybody ever comes to the farm, Derek F., RIP your Instagram story, because it's going to be like Pac-Man with like 1 million dots that day, because you're going to see every second of Derek F.'s visit to Frenchie's farm. That is going to be for public consumption. That one visit that will happen after the season is over. Okay. So Frenchie, everybody's going to vote. We got to get to the votes. We had some interesting votes. Claire happily voted to evict Frenchie.
And no shout-outs.
No shout-outs. Okay. Derek F., that he cast a hinky vote last week. He had a somewhat hinky vote this week.
Hello, Derek.
Hi, Julie.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I sadly to evict Brittany.
Yes, sadly to evict Brittany.
Derek F brings Dina Lohan energy week after week. I know you thought that Tom Green was going to be the only BB Celeb reference of the night, but no, it was bringing me back to Dina Lohan. I vict to evote. This is the second time where Derek F has struggled with that, which is really funny because Julie literally like gives the sentence like, cast your vote to evict. The words are right there.
If Big D is the Dina Lohan, does that make Frenchie the catfish?
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
He talked about how he taught some people how to fish in the house.
I forgot about that timeline.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
All right. So, a little bit of a stumble for Derek F. Also, Julie also had a little bit of a misstep. Can anybody explain this one?
It's official. With 7 votes to evict Frenchie, Frenchie will leave the house tonight.
It's like a random extra Frenchie in there, like her Westworld is malfunctioning.
Well, 7 votes to evict Frenchie. Frenchie will be going home.
There was a comma.
There was a comma?
She
ran over it?
With 7
It's
votes
official.
to evict
With
Frenchie.
7 votes to evict Frenchie, Frenchie will leave the house tonight.
She just went for the next one really quick. She was just kind of going right over that comma. But I think the comma might have been implied.
I felt like the record skipped for a second.
That was it. That was an I'm kidding speed pause.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, it's the same length as the I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay. Frenchie came out. I thought Julie went very easy on Frenchie.
Nothing but softballs from Julie. When's the last time Julie went in on someone? Right? I think we got to like scale it back and remember, because I feel like the last couple of seasons, it might have been Jack. Yeah. Because I mean, BB22, she's kind of, softened up. She's giving us these, messages to live by, be the good.
Yeah.
So maybe she's just softened up and she's not about that anymore. Because there couldn't have been a better alley-oop for Julie to dunk on a house guest than Frenchie.
Mm-hmm.
But also it's like, it would just be kicking him while he's down. Like he's the most defeated. Like,
he's crying. Yeah.
Like he's not even trying anymore. Like he's, his pitch was, he's like, glossy eyed the entire time. Like, what are you going to do? Just be like, wow, you sure are an idiot. And you really messed things up. Like he's already, he's out. Like he's suffering. I don't think that, maybe if he came out and was like super cocky and it was like, change the game. And
I mean,
blah, blah,
he literally was that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't but there was just like this like somberness to him. Like, I don't think his chest was puffed out at all. Like,
no.
So it's just like, what are you going to do with it?
I didn't catch some shade though, because CBS, there's 4 pictures behind Frenchie on that big like background. The third picture is Frenchie with the 2 dice. That was part of the 4 pictures they chose to put for him. So I like that was part of his highlight package of you should have done it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Frenchie's chest wasn't puffed out because it was caved in because he was showing off the cape that he was wearing. For being such a hero.
He is a hero.
He's a hero to all of us. Okay. So Frenchie is gone. We'll see where Julie goes in her extended interview with Frenchie, which gets published. What is it, after the episode or on Friday?
I want to say on Friday. Liana's been bugging me to ask this, so I'm going to ask it. They keep saying on the CBS app. That's a different app than the Paramount Plus app. Do we know this? Can anyone answer this? Curious. Yeah.
I suspect it takes you to one and the same places.
Right. Like you can still access it through
the
Paramount
redirect.
Plus app.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think that maybe nobody updated the prompter from last season.
Okay.
There is still a CBS app for what it's worth.
Yeah. So, okay. We'll see. All right. Let's talk about this competition that we got for the HOH where we saw Tom Green show up. Boy, Taryn, how do you think that this came to be?
I don't know. But I feel like not a terrible idea, but terrible execution.
Oh, you didn't like it?
Wow. Yeah. Shots fired.
I'll tell you this. Literally every scene in that Tom Green video, I know, because that's Ottawa. I lived there for 10 years. That was downtown Ottawa. There's so many other house guests with so many more cooler cities and backgrounds to have gone to than to go to downtown Ottawa. There's like 5 of us who watched Big Brother, and I left. So I don't know why it was Tom Green specifically. But it was nice to see him again. My favorite part was obviously when he went full cereal box in the middle of the square. That was great.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was interesting, like, of all the, at least this for a celebrity cameo made sense because there is a link to Big Brother. He has played celebrity Big Brother. There have been like way less sensible celebrity cameos that made way less sense. And the thing is we have a house full of quite a few fans. So if ever you were going to toss in Tom Green with references to BB Celeb, like, this is the cast to do it with. So I didn't hate it, but I did feel like the video was just really, it was kind of strange. I was like, what is happening here? But I personally enjoyed it because I love Tom Green and it was Ottawa. So I was enjoying it. But I also enjoyed that they were like poking fun at the show by like Tom Green talking to all these people. They're like, yeah, I was on Big Brother. Do you know that? And everyone's like, no,
what's that?
I feel like Gallagher was probably more relevant than Tom Green, don't you think?
How dare you?
Yeah,
that was a very relevant celebrity to come in.
Everyone knows him. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Ziggy Marley, another good one. Sheryl Crow.
Yeah. I mean, Sheryl Crow was at the height of her powers at the time she came to the Big Brother house. But yeah, this was sort of like a weird spot here. But, would you rather have seen sexy Uncle Vito back again?
How could I have forgotten sexy Uncle Vito? He should have been back.
He should have been back. I mean, who can forget the Steve Jobs pineapple video montage we watched? Like, I think we've seen weirder videos. At least this was somebody who was actually on the series at one point talking about the series. It wasn't just like random things that had nothing to do with the show.
You are very right, Rob. I'm not. My perspective has shifted because I was looking at it in like comparing this to any kind of entertainment, and I should be comparing it to the
previous
absolute
versions.
Garbage tier entertainment that they've provided on previous question competitions in the past.
Yeah, like it wasn't any of the silly, campy, like screaming and fart sounds and all sorts of like nonsense with like situations that were out of the ordinary, which I think sometimes can make it easier to remember things. Like it was just this Tom Green on the street having conversations with people, and there wasn't even a lot of stuff out of the ordinary. So I do kind of feel like while it maybe wasn't like the most exciting thing to watch, one, you have someone who is just naturally like funny in his banter with regular people in Tom Green. And also just like, I think it tested them better because they were trying to remember things. I think when like a conversation is more natural, it's like easy to kind of like tune it out because you're just like, oh, these are just two people talking.
Yeah.
And it's harder to pick out like interesting things from it. So I think it actually tested their memory a lot more.
Yeah. Well,
I liked it a lot. Yeah, because honestly, there's so much going on. It's live. It's like video footage. There's people in the background. Ultimately, when we hear the questions, it wasn't really linked to everything Tom was saying. It was very much like, this one's a visual part. This one is more of a, this person said something. Did they say this thing? I thought it was a good one ultimately, and it didn't take too much away from the show.
Yeah.
So.
It was no Uncle Austin's trailer, but
right.
Nothing could be.
So let's, I want to jump ahead to, the climactic question that was asked, where the question was asked about, did the man that he talked to say that he wanted to get nude on Tuesday? He couldn't get nude on Tuesdays, that he couldn't play Big Brother because he gets nude on Tuesdays. True or false? Did he say that? And I'm like, true. That's the only thing I remember from this. There was a guy who said that he was going to get nude on Tuesdays.
Rob, I said false because I knew it was naked and I knew it was a trick question.
Well, here's the thing, Rob. I think that Xavier had the same reaction as you.
Yeah.
And he got lucky.
And I think that he answered accordingly and then had an unpleasant surprise at the results.
Yes. So you're saying that he tried to throw it?
Yes.
I think he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Love that for him.
Yes. Now, of course, no, he did not say he wanted to get nude on
I
Tuesday.
like to walk around naked on Tuesday, so like, how are they going to deal with that?
So I'm telling you, if this happened on This Week in Survivor History, I would be screaming at Jordan Kalish.
Oh, yeah.
I would be furious. I'm like, what kind of question is that? You have a million things you could ask from this segment. Was the man wearing a blue shirt? Was he wearing a red shirt? Why would you do a trick question?
I will say that, like, the level of like detail and trickery in that question didn't really stack up with the rest of the question.
Right.
But I don't think it was a bad question.
And if you wanted to make that a trick question, you ask, did the man that Tom Green spoke to say, quote, I like to get nude, like, say the word quote if it's a trick question, because nude and naked are synonyms. So he did say he would get nude. Like, no, I didn't say. He didn't say nude. He said naked.
It's another hamster situation.
It really is. It's our new age hamster situation now.
I will say though, I said out loud, I said no. He said naked, and so. Not looking for any congratulations, but I know I expect these kinds. Thank you, Taryn.
Medals in the mail.
Your new HOH of this podcast. But
Congratulations, Jenny.
I expect there to be these kinds of things because we've seen it before where, we're expecting one thing. And so I don't know. I think that if they threw in the quote, I agree with you, Rob, quote,
that would be fine. That would be in bounds.
Or naked on Tuesday. Yeah.
I think to Rob's point, you could have answered false, saying no, he said naked. And then Julie could have said incorrect. He did say that because naked and nude they mean the same thing.
I think that would have been worse.
You got it wrong.
That would have been worse.
But theoretically, she could have done either one, which means it's a bad question.
It's just like that. You don't do like trick questions in this this is like a Big Brother live competition. Like, keep it simple. The show tricks itself. No need for trick questions. It's a yes or no.
Yeah,
I'm not mad though. Listen, not to make it
because you have Xavier in the draft, Puya. That's why you're not mad.
I'm living large, and I
love
fine.
Xavier. I'm not mad that he won. I'm mad at the question is so stupid.
I think that this really made it interesting in that, like, we know that there were people that were maybe going to throw this competition. It sounds like there's a common target in the house this week, and there might have just been a lot of people like, hey, I think I'm good. I don't want to be the one that has to do this. Mm-hmm. So when you get a question like this, we don't know if people were trying to answer it correctly or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This was the card says moops moment of Big Brother. So, Taryn, was Xavier one of the people that was going to be throwing the competition?
Not technically. The idea was ideally to throw it to Sarah Beth. That Derek X, and at this point, with Whitney out, with Brent out, with everybody else out, Derek X and Hannah were throwing it. They showed very much that they were throwing it. Whitney even threw it the question before, and so at this point, the goal was for Alyssa and Xavier to throw it to Sarah Beth because she was the person who is most capable of taking the shot that they want to take, and without like having to mess with breaking their words and all of that stuff. Mm-hmm. So, but people like Xavier and Alyssa were willing to win if necessary to take the shot themselves. But we know that in addition to talking about throwing it to Sarah Beth, Xavier is also sort of averse to wanting an HOH this early anyway. He doesn't want a target on his back. He doesn't want to have to ruin any relationships. So I think beyond even just the disgust throwing of the competition, he had an internal motivation to not want to win as well.
Okay. All right. So congratulations to Xavier for winning the HOH here in week number 3. All right. Anything else from the episode before we take some questions? Okay, let's fire up. Yes.
Disappointment that we did not see nearly like when I was watching this live, I was going over all of the things that they didn't show, and it took more than one commercial break to even mention all of the things that I thought were important that were not in the episodes this week.
I'm genuinely baffed that they had both the Britney rapping segment and then the eviction rap. Like it felt like that should have been on yesterday's episode to prepare us for this episode. They spent a lot more time than I thought.
They had to know it was coming because she was practicing.
Yes.
Right,
I think that there was like no like campaign footage. It's like when they put together the eviction show, it's like, all right, what's the Britney campaign? What's the Frenchie campaign? She had no campaign. It was like, all right, let's show her rapping. Let's show that her getting ready to rap. So, I mean, they got away from the entire vote for the entire second segment to talk about what was coming up on the House. And I think that, Taryn, there's so much going on that I feel like that I think we're just sort of like going to hedge their bets on who's going to win the HOH. We'll just show you what ultimately ended up working. I think you said on the update today where it's like, there's like 20 different versions of the alliances. It's like, well, let's not confuse the audience and show them something that doesn't stick based on who's going to win this next HOH.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what I was saying last week as well. But I think even on top of that, they've missed a lot. And I think that I did not see them this week going back and showing important things from last week. And so we're still missing some stuff that happened in the first week in relationships that exist, that have been there from the first week, that are very important, causing a lot of things to happen in the game that still don't exist on the show. Yeah. So I guess I'm not used to this level of these things being absent in the US version of the show. They're usually a bit better of being on top of things.
All right. It's a good commercial for Taryn's live feed updates. 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. There's no missing holes there. All right. Want to take some questions? Let's see.
Let's do it.
All right. Here we go. Let's take some questions from the audience. Of course, you go to robbinswebsite.com/bbquestions to send in your questions for the show. Here is a question from Jake. Is Derek F. making a mistake by openly voting against the House 2 weeks in a row? Please, do you think anybody's going to be punitive towards Derek F. for voting to or sadly evict Britney?
No one's going to care. Maybe Britney at some point cares about it. No one else minds. Like, it's a pity vote. It makes it so that it's not unanimous. I know that Frenchie has played jump rope with, I don't care, I care, I don't care, I care. So it doesn't matter. Everyone's fine with it. They'll move on from this. This vote specifically will not come back. And also, he was the only open one about the last one. So he's going to be fine. He has more things to worry about, like, am I going to get up and play the game now or not? That's really what his focus is going to be on. So we'll see.
Okay. Resting Joey says, did Hannah and Derek X throw the competition after Whitney was out? Did they go out on the question that Xavier won on?
Yes, but at least for Derek,
them, I think.
At least for Derek X, he actually called his shot 2 questions prior to the one he went out on. He said 2 more questions and I'm out, and then threw it, and Hannah threw it there as well. So I don't know if she had intended on throwing it on that one prior to Whitney leaving as well, but Whitney had also planned on throwing it. They were all planning on throwing it.
Okay. Chris Snyder says, do Brent and Whitney have any real allies left in the House? I think that supposes that Brent and Whitney are together.
Which they're not. So I guess the answer is no, because they don't even have each other. Mm-hmm. Whitney is closer to attaining some true allies, but she really should not have done this HOH because she doesn't realize that fact, nor does Brent, who also was going to throw this HOH and I think just accidentally lost.
Mm-hmm. Tom Green Sunglasses wants to ask, should the House guests show their satisfaction with losing the HOH comp? Hannah with 2 thumbs up. Shouldn't they be worried that the House guests who got out early might see their reactions?
They must not see them, like, I think maybe they go off to the side and like the way that the partitions between them, they must not see them.
I don't think I think they sit to like the direct left or direct right. I don't think they see them for this one.
Yeah.
I would think that they wouldn't do that if they could be seen. But
you would think so. They know better than we do. And Fatih says, is it better for Xavier's game to go after Brent or Whitney? Taryn, at this hour, do we have any idea what we think Xavier is going to do?
So basically, there are likely only 3 candidates for Xavier to nominate. Between the Kings being safe, the Cookout being safe, that by itself only leaves 5 people left that he can nominate, 2 of which are Derek X, who he is in this new alliance that was very, very subtly alluded to, called the Royal Flush, where Derek X is involved. He shouldn't be putting Derek X on the block. And then Claire is another one who is also in that alliance and also shouldn't be touching the block. Theoretically, they both could, especially if it's like a pawn situation, but unlikely at this time. And that only leaves Whitney, Brent, and Brittany. So we might be getting more raps. But it's unclear at this time who amongst those 3 he will nominate and who he will even target.
And now, Puya, we still have the wild card competition, which is looming on Sunday. Julie didn't announce any special power for the wild card competition. Do we think that there won't be any sort of special risk attached to whoever wins the wild card competition?
No, I think there definitely will be. I think they just didn't tell us, which I'm actually okay with. I like that we're going to have to, wait and see what happens. I think that kind of adds a little bit more excitement to when the feeds do come back with the wildcard comp done. This wildcard comp is interesting because the 3 people that Taryn just named, one of them can't compete for the wildcard. So to me, Brent is definitely guaranteed to be on that block, most likely. That leaves Whitney can still compete and Brittany can still compete. Now, the Aces have gone out of their way to leave it up to the Fates to decide. So they might do that again, potentially. And then I think based on what just happened, I would assume Brittany's going to try and push to participate. So we'll see.
Yeah. It will be interesting that if there is some sort of you could protect your team with that, although we're really then running out of a very few potential nominees that you would even have for the week.
Yeah. It's hard to say. The second one, the having to switch teams one was kind of a flop. And the first one was honestly kind of a flop in the sense that it wasn't really a risk. So I'm not really expecting big things, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe they didn't want to call their shot and they're still workshopping it before Saturday, whenever that happens.
I believe
or Friday.
What Julie said was that it was going to throw a wrench into the HOH's plans, which literally gives us nothing. Yeah. Is this like the I don't remember, they all have such generic names, but what was the one in 18 where you could rogue nominate a third person? Maybe something like that.
Roadkill.
Right. Roadkill. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. No, I don't know. I think it's safety with what are you going to give up to do this? What's going to be the case? You can't compete in the veto. I don't know. We'll see.
Jenny, any other thoughts about tonight?
I wanted to just address who is X? I'm getting confused now because I thought X was Xavier, and then we got a diary room from Kyland where he says, my guy X, and he's referring to Derek X. And it's already bad enough that we have 2 Dereks in the house. So we got to a point where, okay, Derek F is Big D, and then Derek X is Derek X or Derek. And now we're calling Derek X X, but people call Xavier X. Please help me. Help.
Honestly, thinking about it, because the second it happened, I was like, Kyland, what are you doing? Why would you call him X? That's so annoying. But thinking about it, I'm actually wondering if they just Frankenbited this and he was actually talking about X. I
wonder that too, because I'm this isn't a thing, right?
Yeah, because I've never seen Kyland mess this up. I've never seen him call Derek X. He only calls Xavier X. So it's very possible that he was actually referring to Xavier in that clip, and they just took it and I mean they in the Sunday episode pretended that Tiffany was campaigning to get Frenchie on the block instead of Brent, when the whole speech was about getting Brent and not Frenchie on the block. So we've already seen them do it this week, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Puya, if we end up with Brent on the block this week, do you think that it is a week of fireworks, or do you think that it is a week like this week where that he goes out without too much of a fight, a la Frenchie?
So he was tipped off a little bit today, which I'm not, but he kind of knows that maybe some people have been looking at him potentially. So it's not going to be a complete shock, I don't think. But remember, this is Brent we're talking about. He's all about the honesty, the integrity, the medieval times level of honesty.
Yeah.
So if you don't think he's going to be offended to be on this block, he's definitely going to have something to say. I'm excited to see what. Now, is it going to be the Frenchie way of, exploding about all his alliances? I don't think so. But I could see him getting a little shady, getting a little mouthy, potentially.
Let me give you a small sneak peek at the feeds so far. Brent is riding high.
Riding high.
Brent is like, this is best case scenario.
Wow.
We are safe on all sides. Xavier's getting a bigger target on his back. The Kings are getting bigger targets on their back, and we're sitting back and letting it happen. And he's going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. And what does he think is going to happen?
I think he thinks that Xavier will be targeting the young females of the house, aka Brittany and Azah, because that's who Brent has pushed for the last week.
Well, boom, boom, boom. Well, that's not going to go the way you think, Brett. I'm sorry to say, man.
Yeah,
you're going to be on the block.
Okay,
that's great. We'll get a good reaction.
I'm here for it.
That gives us something, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't get a heads up first, yeah.
Okay, Taryn, anything else you want to say tonight?
That's pretty much it. I mean, what I'm really excited about is that, like I said, I don't think that Xavier intended to win this, whether he knew what that question was or not. The goal was to not win this, and he definitely didn't look very happy when he did. But I'm excited about it because Xavier has been one of the biggest question marks on the cast for me in terms of what he's actually capable of. I've wanted to see more from him. He hasn't really had to do much more because he's been in a good spot and he's been trying to lie low. And I think that's very valid as a strategy. But this is going to be the first week where we're really going to get to see him tested. And I'm very excited that we get to now see, like, what is this guy made of? Is he going to be here and be a winning contender, or is, the lying low just who he is as a player? And will we see a more low-key game from him that's maybe a little bit more reliant on external factors? So I'm curious to see.
External factors. Yeah. Okay, I like it. Okay. All right. Let's leave it there and until we get to tomorrow morning. And the live feed update tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time. And a little bit of a programming note. Puya Friday is going to be on Yadis this week. Puya, what's going on?
So here's what's going on. So today we got the keys to our apartment that we got finally, the new apartment for the move. Finally, the elevator is not working yet, and we're moving, and we're on the 5th floor. So suddenly, we went from imagining putting like 8, 9, 10 boxes in the elevator going up one trip to we have to each carry a box, go up 5 flights of stairs, come back down. So it's a lot more time consuming.
Yeah.
So I need every millisecond that I can afford for this weekend. So
Puya,
ultimately,
if you're stuck, Taryn knows some great movers. Okay.
Yeah.
In the Northeast.
Really time efficient. Yeah.
No, it
Very
sounds
honest.
like,
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Taryn, he hit the combination platter there. He found movers that are magicians and are able to make yourself vanish like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought about it.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I could have watched the feeds tonight. I don't know. Would I rather lose all my stuff to watch feeds?
Would you rather lose all your stuff and not have to move, or keep your current relationship with your stuff but stay in the same place? It's a good question.
I would rather not having clutter. I'd be very okay with not having clutter. So maybe that would have been the choice.
Okay.
Who knows?
All right. So Puya will be back on the updates real soon. In the meantime, we're bringing out the big guns. Asia Welch will be with Taryn tomorrow morning to talk about what should be a very eventful overnight, Taryn.
Oh, I hope so. Yeah.
You would think so.
We'll see. Well, hopefully we'll have an update on what the plans are and where we're going to go from here.
Yeah. Is X going to do game talk tonight, or is he going to?
Hopefully,
say
Kylan didn't start something.
Like, yeah. This is the new theme: is nothing happens on Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you'll have to tune in tomorrow morning to find out.
Okay. He's going to iron everything out overnight, including the paper towels. All right. Then on Friday, we'll have the BBQ&A. Taryn and I will be live after we speak with Frenchie. We will then take your calls and see what your questions are about this brand new week of Big Brother. That's for the patrons of Rob Has a Podcast. We will send you a link over on Patreon on how to join the call and join us live. Of course, then we will also be on our call with Frenchie tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. We've been lucky enough to get video as well. So you can either listen to the podcast version or check us out on our YouTube channel for our exit interview. Then Sunday night, of course, we will be back with another great panel. Aman and Mari will be back with Taryn and I on Sunday night live after the episode, and we'll get to see what Xavier's nominations will be. Plus, we'll see the wildcard competition. Back to Survivor this Tuesday night. I talked about the 11th best season of Survivor. It was Survivor Philippines with Brian Cohen and Ari Ferrari. I had a lot of fun doing that. We are speeding things up once again. And this weekend, I'll talk about the 10th best season of Survivor as Ali Lasher and the poorly wording question man himself, Jordan Kalish, will join us to talk about Survivor Tocantins. Is Tyson nude or naked through most of the season? Find out when we talk about Survivor Tocantins on Saturday afternoon. We also talked about the brand new beloved film, Space Jam, A New Legacy. Shannon Gus joined Akiva and myself on a non-canonical episode of Rob and Akiva Need a Podcast. Has anybody watched Space Jam, A New Legacy?
Not yet.
Not yet.
The theaters just reopened here.
Movie.
So I haven't been rushing to see it.
Yes.
Let me make a plug in the middle of this. I know what Rob feels about this movie because I checked out the 5 for 5. That's patron exclusive.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is Space Jam. That first of my 2 podcasts with Shannon Gus this week as well. Of course, that would be Survivor Australia. Of course, if you are following International Survivor, you know that Australian Survivor was back. Great premiere week. Interesting twist on episode number 1. I'll give you a hint. One of us liked it. One of us didn't. Hear us talk it through on our first episode of the Australian Survivor Wrap Up. And Shannon Gus will have coverage for you all season long, as she does with Mike Bloom on the Survivor South Africa Wrap Up as well. All right. Puya, I missed you so much talking about 90 Day Fiance, but you are still back with our coverage of Sexy Beasts.
That's right. Me and Jenny have partnered up to talk about this. Rob, I don't know if you're ever going to watch this, but it is the weirdest thing I've podcasted about. And I've talked about Angela in a bathtub on 90 Day. Me and Liana come on week in, week out to talk about the performances of, the Penguin on The Masked Singer.
Yes.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever talked about.
This is just Big Brother players having to wear costumes and being in a showman's, right?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Sexy
totally.
beast mode cowboy.
The same level of strategy going on in this show for sure.
Yeah.
It's you don't have to watch it and you can still enjoy the podcast because it's so bizarre.
Jenny, I heard the episodes are short.
They're very short. And that's the thing is Netflix has put out 6 episodes so far and they're each between 23 to 24 minutes. So
it's like a sitcom.
if you want to really experience what we're talking about as we go down this journey together, you've got time. The feed outages alone, there's probably a chance to and in fact, the way that the feed outages happen, you could probably watch one episode and then while the feeds are out, the feeds will come back. You can take a break, which I definitely suggest with this show because it is a lot to take. And then the feeds will probably go down again and then you can get another episode in. So,
and pro tip, you can watch Netflix. You can change the speed if you watch it on a computer. So check out episodes 1 and 2 with Puya, Jenny, and Liana. What a treat. Of course, then Puya was with Sasha Joseph talking about a very wild episode of 90 Day Fiancé, Happily Ever After. Puya, I haven't listened to the podcast yet, but I am dying to because that was a wild episode.
It really was. And I love that you weren't able to make it. And we've got like arguably the weirdest segment we've done in 12 episodes of 90 Day. That was a lot of fun to talk about with Sasha. We definitely broke all of it down, whether we liked it or not. It was a good time.
That's in the 90 Day Fiancé podcast feed, in addition to the Rahap Ups feed that Puya and I had talked about 90 Day Fiancé together for months and months. But I'm trying to wind down the countdown of the top 40 seasons and focus on Big Brother right now. So I had to step aside on the 90 Day Fiancé coverage. But Mr. 90 Day Fiancé has you covered. Check out the 90 Day Fiancé podcast feed, robbinswebsite.com/90 Day Fiancé. And I just have to like text Puya my thoughts on the show now.
And I loved it so much, Rob. I loved seeing your takes. I brought some of them up. So if you're looking for Rob's opinions, I'm peppering them in there. We're still going to have that.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll try to watch the episode before you record. And then Love Island is also going on over on CBS. The aforementioned incredible Sasha Joseph joined Kirsten McInnes and Brian Scally to talk about the latest batch of episodes over on Love Island, something that I need to familiarize myself with because I will be also talking some Love Island this weekend with Kirsten and Brian Scally. So be on the lookout for that in our Love Island podcast feed. Over the weekend, we'll be welcoming our new patrons with our monthly new patron orientation. I'll walk all of our patrons through, whether you are new this month or in the last couple of months. We sent out the invitation over on Patreon. I will be live to walk you through the benefits of becoming a patron, how to access everything. And we'll do some Q&A and meet and greet on Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. Be on the lookout for that. And of course, that link is available when you check out robbinswebsite.com/patron, okay? And of course, any offers from our sponsors, you can check out robbinswebsite.com/offers. You can subscribe on YouTube to never miss us. We have so much fun after all the episodes. And then, of course, check us out on social media at Rob's Podcast and at RHAP Grams on Instagram. All right. Wow. Okay. We talked about a lot of stuff here tonight. Okay. Jenny, we know Sexy Beasts is out. What else is going on for you?
I will be on the next episode of the RHAP Rewind.
Oh, RHAP Rewind. We're talking about it's July. And we are going to be talking about Average Joe.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited for that. Talking to you and Chappelle together is always a thrill, and Average Joe is great. So I'm really pumped to, take myself back to my high school years and relive this show.
We had so much fun when we talked about Beauty and the Geek so many months ago. And glad to talk about Average Joe. We talked about Joe Schmo, Joe Millionaire, and we'll talk about Average Joe on the RHAP Rewind this week. Okay. Jenny, where can people follow you?
I'm on social media at Jenny Autumn on Twitch, twitch.tv /Jenny Autumn, and just living my life.
Yes.
And
okay,
just having a good time. Check out the Sexy Beasts wrap up with Puya and I. We should be back in a couple of days with episodes 3 and 4.
I'm only listening if you rap on the Sexy Beast podcast. Is there more rapping?
I mean, I could write a Sexy Beast rap for you, Rob. I would do it for you.
All right, I appreciate it. Okay,
I'm not as good as Brittany though, so don't get.
Sorry. Wow.
Okay, it was a little aggressive. Okay, all right, Booyah. What's coming up for you besides the move?
Besides the move, I will be back on Twitch, twitch.tv/Puya on Sunday for Among Us. 90 Day will be continuing. I'll give a teaser just for the listeners of this recap. Mari will be my guest for the next episode of 90 Day Fiancé. That's right. And then again, let's drop another teaser. Why don't we, Jenny? The next guest on the Sexy Beast podcast is going to be none other than number one himself, Jacob Jones. Sorry, number one in a pool, Jacob Jones.
Yes, number one in a pool, number two in your heart.
Yes. Okay.
So that's going to be really fun.
Should be wild. Wild. Okay. Great job tonight, Puya. And then, Taryn, what's coming up for you?
Of course, the live feed update tomorrow morning, Q&A show with Rob. Then, continue on. We'll be here around. I'll be around. We'll be doing good stuff. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Taryn Armstrong, watching the episodes live with you guys every time that they're on. Now that I have a desk and a chair, I can probably stream a little bit more. So, tune in. We'll chat about the feeds and all that good stuff. You can ask me how screwed I got from these moving people. It'll be fun. So come and hang out.
Man, I can't wait to find out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm guessing the answer is very.
Yeah.
Might be very, might be a lot, might be extremely. I don't know.
Yeah. Taryn, I actually got a message from the movers. They wanted to they wanted to let you know something.
Sorry. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I apologize.
They haven't actually.
Would you accept a rap for your troubles?
Would be nice.
Be something, yeah.
Really, anything that Brittany does would be nice.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all so much for joining us here live. We will be back with plenty of Big Brother coverage for you over the weekend. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye. Support for this podcast comes from our friends over at Geico. Do you own or rent your home? Sure you do, and I bet it's hard work, but you know it's easy bundling your policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too. You're busy enough. Go to geico.com, get a quote, see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today.
Angie's List is now Angie, your home for everything home. Angie still has the same top pros and reviews you've counted on for more than 20 years. Only now, you'll also get access to all the tools you need to make your home a happy place. Inside, outside, big or small, Angie helps you find the right solution for whatever you need done, all from your phone. It's simple to find upfront pricing and instantly book hundreds of projects. You can even search pricing guides to see what others paid for similar jobs and easily compare quotes from top local pros to make sure you're getting a fair price. From lawn care to repairing the AC to the project of your dreams, Angie has your home projects handled from start to finish. Plus, when you book and pay through Angie, they'll cover your project up to the full purchase price plus limited damage protection with their happiness guarantee. Make your home an Angie home. Check out Angie.com today. And for more on the happiness guarantee, go to Angie.com/happiness-guarantee.htm.
Streaming only on Peacock, Ghislaine Maxwell had it all until she met Jeffrey Epstein.
Ghislaine Maxwell's charged with enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury.
Epstein's Shadow, Ghislaine Maxwell. Streaming now, only on Peacock.